Greetings, beautiful people, and welcome to a new episode of Bad Thought Therapy. You guys is going to be extra special because guess what? I have a special guest. She is a phenomenal woman. She is not just a breast cancer survivor, but she is a breast cancer thriver. I'm so happy to have Tameka Pearson, who will be sharing her personal healing journey from breast cancer. Y'all welcome her to the show. Yay, Tameka, how are you?
Fabulous, darling. How are you?
I am well too, and I'm so glad you're here with me. I was at the luncheon that you did when you announced that you
Yes.
had the breast cancer, and I will probably never forget that moment. And one of the things I won't forget is just how strong you seemed. You know, you just seemed so strong, and it helped us to be stronger too. You are truly a beautiful person inside and out. For those of you who are listening, you and I, Tamika and I, we worked together. We were on the same department at a middle school once upon a time. And so I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and anything you want to share, even if I don't ask something, feel free to just interject and share, because I'm praying that your testimony of survival and doing so much more will help others. So the first question though I have to ask is, what were your first thoughts when the doctor told you that you had the breast cancer? What was going in your mind? The first thing, he told you, or she told you, I'm saying he, but
Mhm.
what was your reaction to that? Okay.
So let me take you back to February when I first got it. It was just a regular mammogram. It was not in any way, shape, or form a way of getting because I have this issue in my breast.
Hmm.
It was just a regular callback. I go in, I get a check again, and I'm on my way. Well, it was the third callback that became a little bit frightening for me.
Okay. Okay.
In the room, imaging room for a mammogram, I went to the left.
Wow.
And that was a completely different department that I never saw in the hospital, never knew that it existed. And at this time, instead of getting a mammogram, I had to get a sonogram because they needed a more clear picture of what was going on or whatever they saw. So they scheduled me for a biopsy that I had to wait, I think 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks before I got the biopsy. Got the biopsy, and I took some time off of work because it was a very painful, experience.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff on your phone, and I just happened to look. I had a message, and I started scrolling through the chart and the numbers and percents and just different tests that they ran that was on the chart on the result thing, and I had no idea what I was looking at, but I saw the word malignant,
Mm-mm-mm.
and I knew exactly what that word meant.
Yeah.
So right
Mm-hmm.
after, so it was I spent almost 10 years of my life
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to the last thing to me. Yeah, results mixed up. What's my first thought?
Mm-hmm.
She's talking. I don't hear a word she's saying.
Wow. Wow. I think that is what was so shocking for me too, because when I remember you, a pillar of health, and not only just your physical stature, like how you looked physically, but inside you know, just healthy in every way, like mentally, emotionally. I just remember you being that way. So when you made the announcement, it was shocking to me too. And that's one of the first thoughts I had. You know, you were vegan then. We had just eaten a nice little vegan meal. I was enjoying myself. You know, so I really did when I left. And you know, that's when I had my business and I went back to the business, and I really I kept thinking, well, how, you know? So that was a surprise, and I can imagine that being a surprise when you worked so hard for that. Now, who were the first people you told when you got the news? You know, you say you were just listening because it was, you know, definitely trying to get all the information, but who did you tell first?
My husband.
Your husband. Wow. What was his response? Was he just, I'm sure he was probably shocked too. Did he say anything?
Well, thinking that he was, he was,
Wow. Beautiful.
he
Beautiful.
was the one that just eyed me. He held me in a way that was just most comforting.
Beautiful.
This brought me back to was gonna be okay.
Wow. That is beautiful. Beautiful. That is so, you're so blessed to have that. I know that some women do have a rock, whether it's a husband, whether it's a sibling, a parent, and some people don't. And it's truly a blessing if a person does have a rock. I know you have children. What did you say to them? Was it something where you and your husband came together and made the announcement to them? Or did you just go to them and say, hey, tell me about that? What happened with that?
Well, the whole weekend was a very unconventional weekend. I just did a podcast with my aunt about vegan. Because the day with her,
Wow.
would have seen my face the way it was, that she would have known immediately that something was wrong and something was going on.
Okay.
Entire interview. Absolutely. This time. We knew, my husband and I, we had to get the news out there. We had to tell the children, we have to tell the parents, we have to tell the siblings. So that night, when I came back from the interview with my father, him and I made the decision that we were going to tell the children. We had a family meeting, whether it be for sports or calendar events or, you know, coming important things that are going on. So we called a family meeting. And for them, that was not unusual. It was nothing that was out of the ordinary. It was nothing that was strange. It was just, hey, we having a family meeting. Okay, what are we talking about? So the children, they are, you know, they're kids. They go in the refrigerator. They're standing by the wall. They're getting their water. They're, you know, getting things to prepare for this meeting. And I go to sit down, and my daughter immediately knew something's not right here. We're not talking about an event here. We're not talking about a birthday party. We're not talking about upcoming things that are on the calendar. Something's wrong. And she just gave me that look like, okay, Mom. Like she's bracing herself. So I don't remember everything said because, once again, it's a blur. And if you get to the part where I'm telling them why I'm off work, you know, there are things that have been, and you guys are
Mm, mm,
Excuse me.
mm-hmm, mm.
And tears,
Yeah,
it just instantly formed
yeah.
in the wells of my eyes, and I just could not say anything else. I had to pause because I needed them to comprehend the importance of just digesting what I just said.
Yeah.
So there was a moment of silence
Mm, mm, mm.
where everyone just took the time and just was quiet.
Lord have mercy.
And they gave me the opportunity. Immediately, there were no questions, there were no concerns. It was just, let's process this and let's let mama talk. And they just gave me the floor. And I was able to talk through what I had been going through for the past 3 months. They had no idea of what I was going through for that amount of time.
And I wonder if that pause was because they knew Mama's strong. You know, they know Mama is a source of light, that she's going to get through this, and you did. And that's what's so amazing. And I want to ask you about your strength because you are one of the, just watching you, observing from afar. You're one of the strongest people I know, Tameka. And I want to know, what are the strategies that you use to be strong? What do is it spiritual? What do you tell yourself? Are there little actions or activities that you do to just stay strong and focused? And because sometimes when people hear that prognosis, it becomes all doom and gloom. You seem to be, at that moment when you told us at the luncheon, seemed to be very strong. I know it was emotional, we could see that, but you still had that strength. What is it that helps you to have that inner strength?
First, I don't know how to give up.
Mhm. Praise God.
What that means.
Hmm.
Always been understand it's just gonna get it done.
Hmm.
Any means necessary, we're gonna make it, and it's gonna be what it is. Or was a rest day where I would walk or do something.
Hmm.
I did a lot of meditation,
Hmm.
everything that I do because I'm
Hmm.
healthier than any other wellness that you can think of. So my relationship grew with him over time.
Yes.
I didn't do
Mm.
needed to clean up the people that were around me.
That matters too. The internal is one thing, but there's also toxicity sometimes that we're facing from the outside. And I think that's sometimes some of the hardest, thing to do. That's one of the hardest things to do, is to even go through the process of, excommunicating or estrangement, but taking care of ourselves and not allowing toxic people around us is also a critical part of being strong and being healthy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back and we're going to continue this great conversation. Again, I know you're learning a lot, and she has some more wonderful gems and wisdom to share with you. Let's keep going. Okay, Tameka, again, thank you so much for being here. Let's talk about the treatment. So, when you found out, what stage were you? And then, can you share a little bit about the treatment? What were the side effects, and how did you handle them?
The treatment was what I thought at the time when I did my timeline.
Hmm.
I thought it was going to take.
Okay.
When they gave me the call, when I got the call, that everything ended up and laid out. It was just a matter of going. I had to go through a battery of tests. My test, I had to do an echo. For my heart, they had to make sure my heart was strong to be able to handle the chemo. I had to take the to see if you carry the gene.
Okay.
So with that, that would have determined if my daughter would have had to take a test herself, and also my sister and her daughter.
Okay.
So my brother's daughter. So if I would have carried that gene, then that would have been a completely different conversation.
Okay.
The test came back negative.
Okay.
So the question was, how did I get it? That was my question. The doctor's question was, how are we going to treat me? So we went through all the information, chemo, radiation, surgeries, what that looked like, how that was going to affect my life, how it was going to be. And I tell you, the treatment is not something that was for the weak.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Was stage 2 triple negative breast cancer, and that's one of the most aggressive breast cancers that you can have. Stages were moving fast. When I got my first test, I was stage 1. That was in March. By the time I got to treatment, which was in May of the same year, I was stage 2. So if they did not move in a matter of quickness, we probably would not be having this conversation. 3 different phases. Phase 1 is what they call with the red devil, and that is the most strongest chemo that you can receive. The chemo that I'm always amazed that I was able to get up out of my chair and walk out of the bed because it was so strong. And I remember one of the nurses, they were always on pins and needles when I would finish with my treatment. You see people getting rolled out in wheelchairs. You're seeing people being helped down the hall to get into their vehicles. But I was always one of the ones that would just hop up, get my bag, and I'm walking out the door. Nurse, this is what really put it into perspective for me of how strong I was at that time. She said, girl, we always got to look at your medication twice, honey. I said, why? What's going on? She said, because you take enough chemo to put down a...
Wow.
She was saying that to me in a way to just let me know how much chemo I was receiving in one sitting. To hear her say that I had enough chemo to put down a horse, that just put it into perspective for me. That I did work and it wasn't in
those 10 years.
In a different way. It's going to be the QFT for me. Walking around, being strong. That's not what God had me do that for. So I get through chemo. I go through phase 1, phase 2. Then we have the surgery. I have the luxury of choosing my surgery.
Okay.
Me, the percentages of a lumpectomy, a mastectomy, and a double mastectomy.
Okay, you already knew. Okay.
For the decision that I just said instantly, that's what I'm going to do. So we need to make the decision, and I'm so grateful because there's sometimes some women don't get the choice.
Right.
What do you want? What we're laying out for you, what do you want to do? And they allowed me to make my own choice of having the double mastectomy. After the double mastectomy, we go through radiation, which was, first they gave me 36 rounds. This is where you go every day at the same time.
Okay.
It's radiation that is going to one specific place of your body. That is a whole nother process.
Okay.
Well, during that time, another round of chemo. So we're going through radiation chemo at the same time.
At the same time, Lord have mercy.
And let me tell you, I started to get tired, fatigue.
You heard about this.
There were days I could not even get out the bed
Yeah.
to put my. I needed help with everything. Everything. My body was tired. My mind was tired. I was spiritually tired. I was talking to God like He was sitting in the chair next to me.
Good way to talk to Him.
That was, and that's a relationship that I say that everybody has with Him. If I did not have that,
yes.
He's not my spare tire, baby. He keeps me grounded.
Come on now. Come on.
And that's in the forefront.
He's all four wheels, baby. Come on. You said He is not your spare tire. He's all four wheels. For those who don't know, amen. Yes, baby.
I would never put Him on the back burner and be like, yeah, you're just my spare.
You know, people had that sign. They used to have a sign on their car like, God is my co-pilot. No, He's my pilot. That's how bad I try. He is the car. There you go. He is the car. I'm over here I don't know what I'm doing. But that is so powerful. And I want to ask you, what are some of the side effects? Now, I've heard about the fatigue, because actually another former coworker of mine, she had breast cancer. And I do remember her saying how tired she was and how some people get tired of fighting. So that a lot of times people just sort of let go. It's not that they can't survive, but they get tired of the fight. What are some of those side effects, and was there anything that you could do outside of that treatment, maybe something natural that you could take to help you cope with the side effects?
The medicine was the fight. It wasn't the cancer.
Okay.
I strongly believe that sometimes we have it backwards. It's from my perspective, but I can only speak for me. During that time of treatment, that was my time of rest.
Yes.
That was my time to restore so I can reset and work through being resilient. Use the word resilient. It's like, oh, girl, you just bounce back. Your hands dirty when you're being resilient.
Yeah.
And trying to stay. Self-talk.
Okay.
And I would have a lot of affirmations, a lot of I can statements that I would create, a lot of things that I would say to myself to keep me going. I had a great support team.
Yes.
My family, my friends, those that reached out, just a simple, how are you doing? That kept me going. And lay there.
Okay.
I would just lay there. I would sleep. I tried to stay as still as I could, because you always think in your mind, well, if I move, something's going to hurt. So I would just try to stay in one spot as long as I can. I would try to turn over, and they would take on that side.
Okay. I remember we went out to lunch. I found that.
My point was, I can explain it. It's like I had a pregnancy craving.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the only way I can explain it to people. Like, there were certain times that I would have chemo and I only wanted spaghetti and tomato sauce.
Wow.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner. That was all I wanted to eat. The next chemo treatment, okay, I want something different. I only want blueberries and kiwi.
Wow.
That was it. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I never went back to the previous craving. So I would just keep going. And then there was a time, and this is when the vegan in me retired. I wanted a piece of bacon.
Come on. You know you going this. It's over. You want that good old country bacon, it's over. Wow.
I wanted some bacon. I called my nurse. You know, they have the nurse hotline because I was scared. I haven't had meat or dairy in so long. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Am I going to do? You know, I had all of these things going on in my mind. I called and said, Daddy, feed it.
Yes.
You think but if that's what you want to eat, just go ahead and eat it.
Because you got to eat. That's the thing. You got to eat something. Yeah.
When I took that first, it's like they just said, just from a nap that's been taken for years and years and years. But that was something that I had to give myself permission to. You know, when you start to take things out of your diet purposefully and for a reason, and it was strategic, I had to talk myself into eating that piece of bacon. Wow.
You wanted it, but you still had to sort of like get through. Okay. Wow. That's interesting. Okay.
It was more mental than it was the physical act of just taking the bacon and eating it. I conditioned myself for so long that I had removed certain things out of my diet for so many years that at that moment I had to really talk myself into eating that piece of bacon.
Wow. You ate it and it was good?
Eating it and I ain't stopped eating it.
That's right. You know, I've heard stories where people are older and the doctor might say, don't give them this or don't give them that. I remember thinking about bacon because this was one case where the lady was saying her husband wanted bacon, but the doctor was saying don't give it. But it was like he's gonna go anyway. Let me go ahead and give him this bacon. And he lived a long time. He lived way back, but he had a little piece. He didn't have a lot, but he had a little piece every day, and in some kind of way it helped. Sometimes I think it's also something in the food, whether we know it or not, that we need, and it may not seem like we should eat it, but maybe we do need it. So that is so interesting. So now I want to ask, how did that whole experience, you get the prognosis, you go through the treatment, how did it change you? Not just physically, but how did this experience change you mentally, emotionally? Tell us about that. What is something you do differently now as a result of that experience?
The fear of what others think is gone.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful.
During living through breast cancer, living post breast cancer.
No, that's right.
Down to the point where I just look at people and I just turn around and I walk.
No, that's right.
If you don't invite me, I probably won't come in anyway. It's just that really solidified important thing.
Yeah.
Just with my family, time with people who truly want to spend time with me.
Yes.
I learned to really see people and value them.
Yes.
Not change them, not figure it out. Baby, he can put me on the glory.
Mm-hmm.
Doing surgeries, doing recovery. For something.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you're saying this because I say this a lot on this podcast, Tameka, that we can't take our next breath without God. And I think so much of the suffering in this world is a result of people not having the relationship, that personal relationship with Him. Like when you said it was like He was in that chair, He was in the room, and you were just having a conversation with Him. He's that real. He's not far away. He's so close to us, and He wants to fellowship with us. And I'm so glad you said that because I'm hoping that when I first started this podcast, I really started it for people who were non-believers or they were agnostic. After I had my business, I met so many people who didn't understand the difference between religion and relationship. And I was like, I wanted to create a platform where I could just talk about relationship. And I know that religion, if it's good, I always talk about good religion and bad religion. Good religion can help people. But so often what is being promoted is bad religion because it doesn't teach you to have that intimacy with the one who made you, the one, like you said, who has our soul, our breath in the palm of his hand. So I'm so glad you're saying this. This is so powerful. And he's so real because I don't want anybody to think I'm the only one saying it. No, this is a relationship that anybody could have. And y'all, she did not know what I was going to ask her. These are not prescriptive questions and answers. She's telling you what I've been trying to tell people. He's real, and without him, we are nothing. We are nothing without him. And were there any surprises, anything that happened that you weren't quite expecting to happen during this healing journey?
Comfort from people, the sympathy and empathy that I received. You know, when you consider to be a strong person, you do everything on your own. You don't ask for help. You don't need anything from anybody. You make it happen. You get it done. You know all those things.
Yeah.
I did not realize that I already had a community of support.
Yeah, you do.
Was one of the most surprising things. Even to this day, I still have people that reached out during my time of who are in my circle. They're not people who I would consider to call, but they really took the time and they just check in. You know, you don't think that some people would be so compassionate.
Those are seeds, Tameka, that you planted in your garden. You know, I teach this a lot to my students. Life is a garden. I use it as a metaphor. And whatever seeds we plant, those are usually the ones that grow up. Of course, we all get weeds. We all get animals trying to eat the fruit. But you've planted a lot of good seeds. Again, you're just walking sunshine and light. Before we actually got on the same, we were in the same department, you know, just seeing you from afar, just a source of light. And I think that's why it's so everybody deserves love. Even the worst of the worst, God wants us to love people, even if we don't love what they do. But some people make it so easy to want to give to them because they have planted so many good seeds. So all those good seeds that you planted, I hope that you harvested a fruit beyond what you could ever imagine or think because you plant good seeds. That's what you do. And so that's why you're on this show. And that's why I'm glad I'm talking to you. You know, I think we would probably have this conversation, but you're just such a beautiful person to me inside and out. Now, every experience like this, a major experience in our lives, because I've had some, there's always gain and loss. And I just wanted to ask you, what did you gain? Something that might was not there before, and then something that you lost, because there's always that when a big moment happens, there's gain and loss to balance life. What is something you gained and what is something you lost?
Ooh, it is a compound complex. What?
Yeah.
But I can't put it into like a one
Okay.
that I acquired over this was the overwhelming love and support from people to come in and help me and my family.
Mm-hmm.
They made sure that my husband was taken care of, the children, my siblings, my parents. Just that extension of God's arm. They wanted to make sure that because he needed to live with this cancer, they just so the gains, we gained so much during that time. We gained so much from each other.
Wow, powerful.
We just came together, and it's now been a staple with us to make sure that the time that we share with each other is quality time.
Yes, that's powerful.
Yeah, we can't ever get that back. And we've become much closer because of that. So the closeness that we have, people are starting to see that side of our family. And the inspiration of them now wanting to do family things with each other is, I would say, is the most gain, because once someone in your family and that tree, that branch is gone, you can never get it back.
Come on, that's right. Say it. Yes.
So I spend as much time with my family as I possibly can.
Yes, yes, doing great things. And I have to give a shout out to Mr. Pearson. I didn't meet him, but I give him a shout out because I know you shared some things with me. And it's incredible because you're hearing these stories about people leaving their spouses during a major sickness, illness. There's a big thing right now with former NBA player and his wife. She decided to leave him. He's had an amputation, and what's interesting, what's come out is that he actually nursed her through a stroke. The vows say for better or for worse, for sickness and in health, but you really can't do it if you don't love that person, because that's the only way you can do those vows, if there is love. And I always say this on this podcast, Tameka, love comes from God. It comes through us. So the real ingredient is, we've been talking about him because we have to, is love. It's God's love. So I just have to give a shout out to your husband, because I know you shared some other wonderful things about him. And I just think it's beautiful and it's good for me to hear that all men are not lost. We hear these horror stories every day in the news about men behaving in the worst ways possible. But to know up close and personal, there's a good man, there's a good man supporting this good woman. It does something for my soul. It just blesses my soul. So I just want to give him, we got to give him a shout out because yes, because he's a really great guy. Now you said you went, but well, you stayed home from work for a while. What was that like? Did you finally just go on medical leave? And how long were you off from work? And then when did you decide to go back?
It's possible
Mm-hmm.
at that time to let her know, hey, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. And the whole time I'm speaking to her, she had to tell me, you're not coming to work on Monday.
You try to still get that, Lord.
I'm still telling her, hey, I'm gonna come in. This is not gonna affect my job. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be, so in my brain, I did not realize how much this was gonna affect me, not physically but mentally. I had no idea of the turmoil that my brain and my thought process was getting ready to undergo. And she kept saying, Tameka, you're not coming to work. You are not coming in this building on Monday. So finally, when she got that through my head, I took weeks.
Okay.
I took 2 weeks off. And
Yes.
For 2
Yes.
weeks.
Yeah, we need it sometimes. Yes.
It
Yes.
was almost like a cleanse.
Yes. That's what tears are for. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, that 2 weeks,
Hmm.
I slept and I cried and I slept. That was the
Hmm.
routine.
Wow.
Weeks. And so that next week was spring break.
Mhm.
And I just talked to my husband. I said, you know what? I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and go back to work because I needed to do something. I needed to get out of the house. I needed to, I hadn't worked out. I didn't have the energy.
Mhm.
I was mentally drained. Now, and you go from working out every day for years
Yeah. 10 years. Yeah.
to nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't, my game, my head was not in the game at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I needed to get out. I needed to do something. I went back to what I knew to do, and that was teaching.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
I'm dramatic.
Yeah. That's energy. That's good energy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I take the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you need that.
I called the car and went through all the paperwork and got all that settled, and I just took that time and I just reflected on
Yes. Yes. Yes.
because I knew it was going to change.
Mm-hmm.
It was time for me to go back to that way of life.
Yeah.
It was done.
Yeah.
So I took that time and be in the hands of my doctor.
Yes. 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 Yes, wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We have about 15 more minutes to go. I know you're being blessed. I am so blessed to hear her testimony, more of her testimony. And so just stay with us. We'll be right back. We got about 15 more minutes to go. Thank you for joining Bad Thought Therapy. So we praise God that you survived and that you have thrived. And now I'd like to ask you to advise the listening audience. What would you advise them to do if they are diagnosed with breast cancer? What are some of the three main actions they should take after this kind of prognosis?
The first thing is be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
To your reality, knowing what to come, be clear with everyone. Make sure that the information that you share is what you want to share. Don't be pressed to have to share information that you're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
Open
Mm-hmm.
people that you ask me, I'm gonna say
Yeah, I love it.
you some people
Mm-hmm. That's respectable. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you listen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And number three, live your life.
Yeah.
Don't let this diagnosis stop you
Yes.
from enjoying life. Yes, I had some moments. Yes, some moments that I had to rest and take a break, but truly enjoy the time that I was able to share with my loved one.
Yes.
And it created a stronger foundation for my family.
Yes.
So don't let it stop you in your tracks, because you still have more life to live.
Yes. And I'm just thinking about those people that might not be as close to their family members as you are to yours. And I know that God always provides a family, even if it's surrogate family, even if it's not a biological family, through people, through friends, through coworkers. And it's I think your testimony is encouraging people to make deeper connections. For those people who want to be connected, don't reject them. I know sometimes we've had bad experiences and we're afraid, because this is one of those things, and just based on your testimony, you can't do it by yourself. It's hard to do it by yourself. And I see now why, listening to you, so many women die because they don't have the support. I talk about this a lot because that is one of the passions that I have, is how do you support women in ways that they can rest and they can have all these things that you had, and many women don't have them. One of my dear coworkers passed away. Now, she was 80 something years old. She had lived a full life, wonderful, beautiful person. But she had breast cancer, Tameka, and I didn't even know it. We worked together, and at that time, I never went into the workroom, so I never knew what was going on at the school. I just went to work, came home. But then later, somebody was talking. I think it was October. They were celebrating breast cancer survivors, and they had her name on the list. I buying this lady flowers like 5 years after she's like, I said, Miss Hurd, I didn't even know you had cancer, because she kept coming to work. She wanted to come to work. Okay. But she had a great support system too, and that's why she could do that. So is there anything you would say, or did you find about any organizations for people who may not have that support system that you have? And then I want to talk a little bit about your books. Well, there were many people that helped me. There was one support group that leaned on me. Okay. Miss Davina Williams. I don't know. She used to work in Douglas County. She was our Okay. That name sounds so familiar. I definitely probably know her. It's a great organization that helped me through a lot of my questions. Okay. Things I didn't understand with her. She also is a breast cancer survivor and thriver. Okay. Wow. Okay. She had, insight on what to do, how to get through it. Okay. Things that can help your body, just things with that we don't know about normally, like especially if you're going through a surgery. Mm-hmm. She gave a lot of great information, so I would definitely look into Lean on Me organization. Okay. I will put a link to their. I'll go online and get their website. Great. Anybody else? Anybody else? Other? Another one that allowed me to actually share my story and my journey, Gertrude's House. Gertrude's House. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Fabulous organization. They do breakfast, like a pancake breakfast type thing for people to come. And they also gave me the privilege of coming to speak to a group of women about my experience with breast cancer. And she is also a great resource for women who need support. She will go to treatment with you. She will provide, additional information that you may need to get through a hard time. So those two are some great starters for women who are looking for organizations to help them also live through breast cancer. Okay, definitely want to post them. For those of you listening, I'll put this on all of the social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook, and also Twitter, known as X, and everywhere, so that we can. And also, if you want to donate to these organizations, I'm going to donate as well. I love finding about organizations that are really doing the work and not just collecting people's funds. So that is powerful. Now, you have a book, My Journey is on a Journey, and your breast cancer story. Tell us about the book and tell us where people can get the book. I'm also going to put links in the description box. My Journey is on a Journey. My breast cancer story started out
is my journal. Being a teacher, we help students get through trouble sometimes. And one of the things that we always suggest to some of our students is write about it.
That's
write
right.
it down.
Yeah.
Go through, write it down, write your day. And that's what I started doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started writing how I felt every day, what was going on. It turned into something that I look forward to writing every day, because I wanted to go back and read how I was feeling that day, what was going on, what made me do this decision, how did I do that. One day, one of my girlfriends came over. She said, "Tameka, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm writing this, just to kind of get a gist of what was going on." She said, "You need to turn this into a book."
Wow.
Just gonna read this, like, this is just my personal journey, things that I'm going through. She was like, "No, people need to know what you're going through." She was like, "For you to go through what you've gone through, and me seeing you firsthand and how you've handled this entire situation," she said, you need to turn it into a book." And so that's where the idea of me taking my journal and turning it into a book.
Beautiful. And I know it's available on Amazon. Is
Yes.
there anywhere else? Do you have your own website? And if you do, I will put it in the description box where they could get it from you directly if they want a signed copy. How could they get a signed copy? Okay.
Email me at hello@sunflowersandsunshine.org.
Okay.
If you just want to go ahead and buy the copy, they want to go ahead and read the story, they can go to Amazon, or they can go to my website, SunflowersandSunshinellc.org.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I also have coloring books that I created.
Yes.
For breast cancer patients and survivors.
Mm-hmm.
The books they're also available on the website on the same homepage.
This is beautiful. I love that. I love the two things you're doing. First of all, journaling, a great strategy for being able to work through your emotions and different thoughts. And then coloring is such a wonderful thing to do. Even though I teach high school, I still I encourage them to color. In fact, color. I actually have days where we're going to color. I have them do artwork where they're doing it by hand. I know technology is wonderful, but sometimes I require them to use their imagination and then use their hands, and there's something about that. So that is beautiful. We're going to take a quick break because I want them to see your coloring books. We're going to come right back. Okay, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got to go out to Amazon and get her coloring books. They're absolutely beautiful. I have my copies. You have sunflowers and pink ribbons. I love it. You have roses and pink ribbons. You have blue hydrangeas and pink ribbons, and sunshine and pink ribbons. They're absolutely beautiful books. You guys, they're not just for breast cancer patients. You can get these books. You can color with your family. Tameka has been talking about the beauty of spending quality time with your family. And in the end of the day, that is what matters. So these books can be used where you all have some coloring times. Have a little family coloring contest. But these books are so nice. So, last question. Anything you would like to say? Like, what is the greatest lesson you've learned? And then I also would like for you to give your social media handles where people can connect with you on social media.
The greatest lesson I've learned throughout this entire experience is actually the title of my book. My journey is on a journey. And the reason why I named it that was because I was already on a journey before I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I feel like it was almost interrupted in a way to stop me understand the most important things in life. And that is just to love your life. Love everything about it. Love the good times. Love the bad times. Love the hard times. Those struggle moments that's going to pull you through and make you stronger. Enjoy everything about whatever it is that is going on. it will make such a better you.
Yes.
When you realize that the journey that you're on sometimes is not just for you, it's for other people.
Yes. Powerful, powerful.
I would say the biggest lesson, and I really had to think about what I wanted that title to be, and I wanted it to be a direct reflection of my life.
Yeah. Your testimony is powerful. It is encouraging, and it reminds me of God's transformative power that we sometimes don't know we have. You took a tribulation and you found treasure in it. Sometimes we'll have a mess and God will give us a message out of it. An obstacle can become an opportunity. You know, my daughter laughs because I use these. I love alliteration. You know, we're English teachers, so you know we're English. So alliteration is our. But he does that. It's real, and that's what I think when I see you and your energy and just. Anytime I was around you and we went to lunch, just your energy. I'm so grateful that I know you, and believe it or not, watching you, just being an observer, your testimony, your witness is powerful and it's impacting people more than you will ever know. So I want to thank you again. Any final words that you just want to say to anybody out here? I have listeners all over the world. Anything you'd like to say to anybody before we end the show? And I want to thank you again for joining me.
Yes, indeed. Final words. Just love yourself.
Yeah.
And all the mess that comes with it.
Yeah.
And allow people to help you clean it up. It takes a village.
Yes.
To get you through.
Yes. Yes. Wow. All right. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much.
And I really appreciate you. We're going to take a little break and stay on the line, Tameka, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this episode of Bad Thought Therapy. I'm Sheree Hardy. I want to thank you for listening and learning with me and Tameka Pearson, breast cancer survivor. And I will have all of her information in the description box so that you can connect with her on social media. She is willing to answer questions. So if you get the prognosis of breast cancer, she is a wonderful person to go to and ask for questions. Well, thank you again and have a beautiful day.